Black Ops 3 was surprisingly one of the best Call of Duties to come out today, still being played and talked about to this day. But there was one game mode that stood out the most, and that was Zombies. BO3 Zombies is easily the best and most fun Call of Duty Zombies experience we've ever had, and it's still one of the most successful things Treyarch have ever done. They somehow perfected this game mode, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the insight to BO3 Zombies' success. So let's go back to July 9th, 2015, the reveal of Shadows of Evil, and the start of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Coming off the hype of Origins with the Ultimus crew, people weren't too happy to see a brand new crew. I mean, most of the comments on the trailer are either about the crew or all the Apothecons. The community was still really hyped, but then 2 days later, they dropped a bombshell with a second trailer with the brand new map, The Giant, obviously the rework of Doris. And this seemed to get the fans a little bit more hyped. Considering Shadows was the main focus, people were really starting to care about The Giant a little bit more, and that kind of seemed to carry out as the game launched as well. People seemed to prefer The Giant. I kind of just think that's due to Shadows of Evil being a little bit more complicated. I mean, the transition from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3 was a bit of a step up with a little bit more things to do, but after a couple months in, people have played The Giant. There's not much to it. People are not enjoying Shadows of Evil as much. People are starting to get a little bit bored. But as the fans were getting bored, we were completely oblivious to the fact that we were about to get one of the best DLC maps to come out to date. And then it dropped on February 2nd, 2016. We got DLC 1 and Eisendra, and oh boy, did it deliver. Eisendra is one of the best maps to come out, and the fans were super happy with it. It brought back the Ultimus crew, branching out that storyline, and one thing that stuck with the players is that it had an Origins-like feel with the elemental weapons. And one of the biggest reasons it did well is because it wasn't too complicated. The one thing that we love Treyarch for is that they actually listened with this. We said that Shadows of Evil was too complicated, and they brought us a less complicated map. Something Call of Duty tend not to do now, and that's listen. But just because it wasn't as complicated didn't mean that both casuals and hardcore fans could enjoy it either. It had some harder bows to get, it had some easier bows to get, and the Easter egg kind of sat between easy and hard. But one weird thing happened when this map came out. People were starting to look back on Shadows of Evil and genuinely realize it wasn't that bad, and they've really overlooked it. So Treyarch were actually sat in a really good position right now where they had 3 maps that people could enjoy and play. And you're probably thinking, this is the start of Black Ops 3's success. It's only going up from here. But unfortunately, it's not. So obviously with DLC 2, we got Zetsubo no Shima. And I'm sure if you've played COD Zombies before, you know this was kind of a flop. People genuinely thought this was the next worst map other than Transit. But to be honest, I'm going to go over it pretty quickly because nowadays people actually really enjoy it. It's kind of the same thing as Shadows of Evil, where people thought it was kind of a little bit more complicated, but then now look back on it and we're just like, yeah, we were kind of too harsh on it. Especially when it was coming off a map like the Eisendra. Like, no map is really going to beat the Eisendra straight away. Let's be honest with that. But people were kind of just waiting for the next map because obviously at the time it wasn't too long. Then DLC 3 hit and we got ourselves Gorodkov. This map was absolutely insane and fans loved it. Did they think it was a little bit too hard? Yes. Did they think the Easter egg was tedious? Yes. This was my personal favorite map. Might be a bit biased, but this is the best Black Ops 3 map. It was super fun, and it sets up the finale with Revelations. As things go, Revelations was actually quite loved. People thought it was a little bit underwhelming, considering it was the finale of Black Ops 3, and what we thought the finale of the Ultimus crew, but it brought back so many fan favorite maps, and that hunt for the Easter egg brought so many fans together. And that's all what COD Zombies is about. At the end of the day, COD Zombies, the community, are actually somewhat nice every now and then, and that was one of the moments where we were all sort of together trying to solve this Easter egg. That's one of my fondest memories of Black Ops 3 by far. And then once we got the ending cutscene, that was the end of COD Zombies BO3. So we thought. And then one day, good old Jason Blundell was at JC Backfire's house, and he unzipped his hoodie to show his shirt that said Zombies Chronicles on it. It was probably one of the best moments ever. We were showed that we were going to get loads of new remastered maps, and everyone was completely shocked. And one of the main reasons they did this is because they knew there was a lot of new COD Zombies fans, and they wanted this newer audience to actually try out these older maps on newer engine as well. This was one of the smartest things Treyarch have ever done, and it's their most successful DLC. I mean, I've made a video talking about how much money it made and stuff, and on PlayStation alone, off the top of my head, I think it was like $12 million, which just for PlayStation is crazy. Now we've gone over the sort of cycle of COD and how that played out. We're going to be going over a few topics of why I think this game was so successful and how I think they could replicate it and be successful with their next COD Gulf War. Now, for me, there was two big reasons why Black Ops 3 did so well. The first one being how different every single map and experience was. If you look at the color palette of every single one of these maps, they are all completely different. I mean, from a snowy castle in Eisendra to a dense green jungle with Zetsubo no Shima, to Stalingrad with dragons on Gorodkov, and then to Revelations, which, I mean, I don't even know where you are in Revelations. Every map had a unique feel to it, and that's something COD Zombies really lacks today. So it felt like every time, and still to this day when you log onto this game, you can really experience these maps again, hopping one from the other. Whereas if you go on Cold War and you play one map, you don't really want to go to the next map because it kind of just feels like the same thing. When you're playing each of these Black Ops 3 maps, it feels like you're playing a new game each time. Now, the second reason I think this game did so well is because they were updating it consistently. I mean, after its life cycle, they were still updating this game. They were adding new DLC weapons. Obviously, they had Zombie Chronicles. And still to this day, on Newton's Cookbook, there's new gobblegums that you can go for every single time. Obviously, you have account levels to grind for. That was another big thing in Black Ops 3 that everyone loved to do. And then obviously as well, the gobblegum system was a big thing to grind for. Black Ops 3, in my opinion, will be the biggest COD Zombies experience we will ever have. I truly don't think it will get bigger than that, which is kind of sad to think, but at least we have the fond memories and we can say we've safely lived through the best COD Zombies game. If you enjoyed this video or have got any thoughts on your own, please put them down in the comment section below. I read all of my comments. With that said, subscribe and goodbye.